Miami-Dade County, under the leadership of Mayor Daniela Levine Cava, is moving swiftly to expand COVID-19 vaccine distribution to protect our community and move our economy forward. Vaccine supplies are currently extremely limited, and as the state provides more vaccines to the county, we are working hard to distribute them as fast as possible. Register for vaccine updates and get more information at miamidade.gov/vaccine. Get vaccinated, Miami-Dade County. It's our best shot for a strong, healthy community.
Good morning. Welcome to the FIU Music Hour on WDNA 88.9 FM, presenting live weekly performances in the WDNA Jazz Gallery, featuring students, faculty, and alumni from Florida International University's School of Music. I am your host today, Zach Weinstein, and along with our producers Karen Velos and Rodolfo Zuniga, we'd like to welcome you to the FIU Music Hour. Whether you're listening to us in your car or live streaming on WDNA.org/FIU, we are delighted to have you join us today for our live recital performance. Today we are joined by Jazz Riquier in his very own junior recital series. He will be on drums, Francisco Reyes on guitar, and Ricky Risquez on bass. And now, here's Jazz performing his first piece, Bright Size Life by Pat Metheny. And that was Bright Size Life by Pat Metheny. Next, we'll hear Soul Station by Hank Mobley. And that was Soul Station by Hank Mobley. Next, we'll hear Footprints by Wayne Shorter. and that was Footprints by Wayne Shorter. This is the FIU Music Hour on WDNA 88.9 FM with the junior recital of Jazz Riquier. Next, we'll hear from Jazz's professor and FIU Jazz faculty, Rodolfo Zuniga. How are you this morning?
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So, what is your approach to preparing students for their junior and senior recitals?
Okay, so for obviously I mostly prepare the jazz drum set majors, and we have two different approaches to each. So mostly what we work on is we work on all these different idiosyncrasies and styles within the jazz idiom. You know, everything from Afro-Cuban to Afro to swing, shuffle, straight eighth note EZM style kind of tunes, and we want to feature all these styles in their junior recital. So their junior recital usually deals with not their own compositions, but compositions analyzed chronologically through the era of jazz, featuring the drum set as accompanist and leader and soloist in all these different styles. Now for the senior recital, we usually want students to write the majority of the compositions. This would be more based on the kind of music that they're listening to. You know, we might do some arrangements of some of the things that they played in their junior recital, but they're going to be in the composer arranger role, which is different, obviously, from the junior recital that you're hearing now, in which they're playing arrangements, their own arrangements, and some tunes from jazz history and jazz tradition. Yeah.
Well, how's he doing so far?
So far, really good. His name is Jazz, actually, so he has to do good. He has no other choice.
I think he's doing quite well.
Yeah.
So, what new developments are happening at FIU post/during this pandemic?
Well, one of the new developments is that we're having recitals in this beautiful space here at WDNA, which is great, as part of the FIU Music Hour that we do every Tuesday, which is part of the music business program, in which we produce this show and we work on music technology aspects, production aspects, and it's great to pair it now with recitals, which I think is an initiative that started with COVID, since we have a lot of social distancing measures that are done great here, and we are not on campus so much, that I think we're going to continue after COVID, because it has proven to be a great merging of initiatives at FIU. That's one of the things. The other thing is that obviously we've all been forced, in a good way, force sounds bad, but in a good way, to expand our technology skills as a musician. So we've done a lot of projects, video and audio, with the students. In the Latin Jazz Ensemble that I direct at FIU, we did a whole program of recordings. We released a video just recently of one of them that was premiered in the departmental recital. But we did a whole, concert that we did remotely. And I think we all learned a lot on how to do that from home and editing video. And I've been doing Zoom sessions with the students in which we mixed and edited a lot of it together. Sort of in a class format. So I think a lot of us are going to continue to utilize those skills far beyond COVID, and the students themselves will continue to do that. A lot of them have new equipment that they know how to use, and now they're writing their own compositions and working on their own platforms in that way. So I think that we've all benefited some with the technology skills that we've gained.
Yeah, I know as a music business degree seeker myself at FIU that this pairing has been wonderful. I also sing myself, but I wish I could, take part in that. But I'm working this side of the desk.
Yeah, you're working that side of the desk, and you've been...
And someone needs to be here.
Yeah, and you've been wonderful. You've been improving on areas that probably without being thrown in that position, you wouldn't have otherwise. So.
And same to you, because especially working as a teacher and a performer during... a pandemic, and working alongside these students, I'm sure it's been just as difficult, if not harder.
Yeah. I mean, it's been rewarding because it's, I like to be busy, and I like to be inspiring, motivating for my students. So if we've all worked as a team in this regard, and also we've collaborated with faculty a lot more, which sometimes you don't get a chance to do when you're in your own office and in your own rehearsals. In this case, we're all home doing meetings, and we've actually done a lot of more collaboration with other faculty members. So that's been great. And of course, I've had a chance to play here a lot, which is, I consider, sort of my second home. I've been playing here for so many years in so many different formats and types of concerts. So that's been beautiful to be more closely together with the WDNA family, which I love.
Well, I'd love to hear more about that, and of course, Jazz's own junior recital.
Absolutely.
But we need to take a quick break. So this has been the FIU Music Hour on WDNA 88.9 FM. We'll be right back after these messages. Stay tuned. And we are back on the FIU Music Hour on WDNA 88.9 FM with Jazz Riquier's Junior Recital Series and his professor, Rodolfo Zuniga. So, Rodolfo, how long have you been teaching jazz, and what can you share about working with him?
So I think I met Jazz at Broward College in Fort Lauderdale, where we had maybe 2 years or a year and a half of instruction, right? 2 years?
Yeah, I believe, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 2 years. And he's been a part of a regular influx of students that we've had from Broward College actually to the program at FIU. In fact, our bass player here today, Ricky Riscus, he's a part of that also. I met him at Broward College. He was in my combo over there too, some years. And I've had a number of other really good students do that. And it's been wonderful because it's a natural progression. You know, there's a nice program at Broward College with actually some FIU alumni as teachers. My fellow Costa Rican friend Fernando Olivari runs the music technology program there. He's a great jazz guitar player. And we've been able to have that influx, and that recruiting initiative has worked for us great. At least in my studio, it's been providing an influx of students that has been wonderful. So I know Jazz very well, and he knows that I push him to become the best, hopefully, that he can be. He's really talented, but he knows that I'm tough when it comes to time management, organizational skills, etc. Things that all students are getting more used to at this stage, I think.
Of course.
And working with him has been great. I'm very happy to have him at FIU. And hopefully, he'll be graduating soon. I mean, he's doing his junior recital now, which I'm very happy to be listening to and coaching. So it's been rewarding.
So you brought up earlier during the senior recital series composition. Do you work on composition and arrangement with your drum set students?
I do. We do that in the final year, providing that we've finished the curriculum for what I've organized in terms of technique, repertoire, and styles, on the drum set. So if we get a chance to, we give a lot of emphasis on their last semester to composing, actually their last year, on starting to compose and arrange the tunes and the concept for their senior recital. One of the main reasons is that I want them to graduate with a portfolio that they can present out in the outside world, right? We go to school and we learn, but we want to be successful in the outside world. So a lot of my students have graduated and come here, for example, in this space and presented their own compositions. that they worked on alongside their peers and myself in their senior year. So that's the main reason why the senior recital, has that, is because I want them to go out and have a repertoire, be able to book their own concerts, lead their own bands, be ready for the professional world. That's how I did it. So that's what launched me into meeting and networking with other musicians and getting opportunities.
Well, Jazz, I hope you're ready for composition. It seems exciting.
He actually plays piano pretty well.
Oh, well, then that's a lot easier, I feel.
And he's already writing some stuff. So he's actually one of my students that actually has a little bit of an advantage there, which is great.
Yeah. Very nice. I guess for both of you, what are the most important lessons you've learned by both being a student and being a teacher?
I'll pass it on to him first to answer that.
Well, I think, first of all, as a student, you got to kind of be on track of things. I've fallen victim to being a little bit lazy and falling behind on a couple of assignments. You got Zuniga coming, busting through the door. He's like, hey, man, where's my thing? And so I've learned to be more disciplined in my studies and my practicing, because before I started Broward College and all that, I would occasionally play, just for fun. And then I didn't really want to take it seriously until Broward College, and then now FIU and all that. And I hope to later be into the professional world, as Rodolfo Zuniga said, learn those skills that are vital in that field of work. And I feel like being at FIU and at Broward as well, it's like I've learned those skills, and I'm still working on them, but without them, I wouldn't have been able to really see how to implement them correctly.
Of course. Yeah, and then to you.
For me, it's Jazz is a living example of this. It's like every student has different skill level, different personality, and of course different experience. So even though there's a curriculum for all of them, I've learned that you have to have a flexibility with music instruction, and especially private lesson instruction, because we get to really spend a lot of time together, getting to know each other. So I've learned sometimes a lot from them, of music to check out, of ways of looking at music differently from my perspective, because I had an upbringing that was different from his upbringing. And even though I can point him in the right direction, I also got to be, again, flexible and making music, the music learning process, hopefully something that's personal to him, because that's the way that's why we're in this, right? We're not in here to be somebody else. We're here to be ourselves. That's the only thing we have. Of course, we learn the tradition and we learn how other people did it, how the innovators did it. But what we're really hoping to achieve at the end is our version of that and our own, contributions to the style. So if I don't cater towards also their personal choices, their personal goals, then I'm not really doing them justice. So that I've learned more through the years. When I first started teaching, I was definitely more, thinking, okay, everybody learns the same thing. Everybody needs to know all of this stuff, and yeah, for sure. But also, I got to make sure that I'm enhancing who they are, and I'm helping them become the better version of who they are.
Yeah, that really just hit home.
You learn, as a teacher as much as you learn as a student, and I hope to continue to keep learning from those things.
If I can.
Yeah, of course.
So I think everyone, they all come from different backgrounds. People listen to different types of music, and that's the one thing that that kind of makes me want to do this type of thing is music, is because there's so many diversification. Some people listen to country, some people listen to jazz, rock music, and all that, and it's amazing to see how it all can just blend together. Depending on how you see it and how you play and how creative you can be. The limitations are endless. And one thing I really liked about my schooling and where I went to is all the students I work with or I've yet to play with, and professors as well, they show me music that I wouldn't have found out myself, and it's ideas that are being thrown in there, and you take it and you use it and you're playing and all that. and it's
Well, speaking of playing, we have a recital to finish.
yeah.
So, Jazz, why don't you quickly tell us about "I Fall in Love Too Easily" by Jewel Stein, and then I'll let you play.
Yeah, so I Fall in Love Too Easily is a ballad. It's a nice, beautiful ballad written by Jewel Stein in 1944, I believe. Fun fact, it was actually sung by Frank Sinatra in a movie called Anchor Away, and it actually won 2 Academy Awards just for the music alone. I always liked playing it. I think it was a really beautiful tune. And the musicians I'm working with right now, Francisco Reyes on the guitar, and Ricky Resgues on the bass. I think they've implemented some pretty nice tones and creativity onto this tune that I think most people, listeners, will enjoy. Yeah.
And here is "I Fall in Love Too Easily" by Jewel Stein. Beautiful. That was I Fall in Love Too Easily by Jewel Stein. Next, we'll hear Voyage by Kenny Barron. And that was Voyage by Kenny Barron. Jazz, what's that about?
I guess he was on a voyage on a boat. I'm not quite sure the origin, but it was written by Kenny Barron, who's a prominent pianist, jazz pianist. He's played with Stan Getz. So originally, I think when he played this tune, he had played it with Stan Getz. And yeah, it's a nice tune.
All right, you can be honest with me on this next question. What does this mean to you, or was this just a song that you picked for this recital?
Talking about Voyage?
Yeah.
I always like the melody. It's nice. It's catchy.
Right.
I think it's swinging. It's fast swing.
I know your professor's in the corner. I'm just asking anyway.
Yeah. I mean.
Well, anyways, you've been listening to the FIU Music Hour on WDNA 88.9 FM. I've been your host, Zach Weinstein, and along with our producers, Karen Velos and Rodolfo Zuniga, we'd like to thank our production crew and the staff of WDNA 88.9 FM for today's broadcast. If you would like more information on all of our programs, make sure to call 305-384-2896. That's 305-384-2896. Or simply like our Facebook page to stay up to date with all of our upcoming performances. On a personal note, this is my last show as host for the FIU Music Hour. That doesn't mean the FIU Music Hour is ending by any means. In fact, there'll still be more live music next Tuesday at 11 a.m. It has been an absolute privilege and an honor to work here behind the scenes along the staff of WDNA and alongside FIU's premier faculty. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And thank you, the listener, for contributing to the FIU Music Hour and WDNA 88.9 Serious Jazz. And now, to close us out, is Jazz Riquier performing Boozer by John Scofield. You want to tell us about that a little bit as well?
Yeah, so it's a tune written by John Scofield himself. John Scofield is a really prominent guitarist, jazz guitarist. He's played with the likes of Miles Davis and Bill Stewart, the drummer, and various other cats today, actually. I always loved his sound. He always had the charismatic tone to his playing. Even if it's very simple tunes, he finds a way to incorporate some nice textures that I haven't heard any other guitarist play, other than Francisco Reyes right here. He captures his style brilliantly. So so we're gonna play it for you, and hopefully you can enjoy. Thank you.
Miami-Dade County